The South Sudan conflict also takes center stage today when the African Union Peace and Security Council meets in Mauritania ahead of the Heads of State Summit. Well, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected at that meeting today. Thousands of people have died and more than 2 million have been displaced following conflict in the world's youngest nation. Sarah Kimani and the SABC Sophie Mokoena are in Mauritania and filed this report for us.
This is Mauritania, a country situated in a Sahel region with a population of only 4 million people. The leaders have already arrived here, among them South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, the Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, who's responsible for the campaign in combating corruption on the continent, the chair of the AU, Rwandan President Paul Kagame. President Kagame is expected to present a report on the AU reforms. But today, later in the afternoon, the Peace and Security Council is going to discuss the current crisis in South Sudan. This week, the two leaders met in Khartoum to try and find a solution and have both agree on a peace process. Last night, President Salva Kiir announced a cessation of hostility. It is hoped that this meeting today will give support to the two leaders with the aim of finding a lasting solution in South Sudan. The other important issue on the agenda of this summit is trade and investment. Sarah Kimani, who has been following the debates around trade and investment, is here with us to speak to us or to give us an indication on what's likely to transpire in those discussions.
Thank you, Sophie, for having me. Now, we expect that President Cyril Ramaphosa will indeed sign the agreement for the establishment of the African Continental Free Trade Area. This is an agreement that creates a market of the whole continent of 1 billion people and also a GDP of $3 trillion. It will be interesting to also see whether the other big economy, Nigeria, whose president is here, will be signing that agreement. Now, the momentum seems to have waned a bit, but the African Union Trade Commissioner Albert Mchanga, speaking to the SABC yesterday, said that at least 4 countries have ratified that agreement, and he expects that by the end of this summit, at least 6 more countries will have signed, and by the end of this year, December, at least 22 countries that are required to have ratified will have ratified, and so the African Free Continental Trade Area can then kick off. We also expect that this summit will discuss the biting issue of corruption on the continent. We understand that the continent loses at least $150 billion every year to just corruption. And so leaders gathered here will be seeking solutions on how to end corruption. Now, this is an elephant in the room because in most countries, the same leaders who will be meeting here are implicated in corrupt dealings. Their family members are implicated in corrupt dealings. And even ours is that we understand in most countries, issues of corruption are not handled in a way that gets the big fish. And so we will wait to hear if indeed they will be speaking about that. And finally, we expect that President of France, Emmanuel Macron, will be here to discuss issues around the Sahel region. Just yesterday, there was an attack in Mali at the headquarters of the G5 force. And he will be coming here to see what support can be given to the Sahel region to fight the jihadist movement that has terrorized the region for some time now. Now, we will be giving you details of that and anything else that comes out of this summit, the 31st Ordinary Summit of African Heads of State of the African Union. From Mauritania, it's goodbye for now.